Others, certainly you're welcome to stand around. I'd like to get started for this year's Beat the Streets activity. My name is Gary Abbott, and I'm Director of Communications with USA Wrestling. Native New Yorker, born in Brooklyn. It's a pleasure to be here at the New York Athletic Club, who's hosting us again for our press conference in preparation for the Beat the Streets competition. 10 years ago, Mike Novogratz and the board of Beat the Streets had this crazy idea to hold a wrestling match out in the harbor on a boat and raise money for youth athletes and help grow the sport here in New York City. We're a decade later and we're back for our 10th Beat the Streets Gala competition. This year, we're going to be inside for only the second time ever. You guys may remember the Save Olympic year when we wrestled in Grand Central Station. It was a great moment for the sport and also helped us in our quest to remain in the Olympic Games. All the rest of the competitions here have been outside in iconic locations here in the New York area. This year we're moving in, we're going to be at the Hulu Theater, Madison Square Garden. Very big turnout of fans. It's been very well received by the sports and wrestling community here. We're going to have a great competition, 13 matches, and raise a lot of money for kids wrestling. So with that said, I'd like to introduce Brendan Buckley from Beat the Streets to say a few words about the mission of what we're doing and why this is such a positive thing for the youth here in New York. Brendan?
Thanks a lot, Gary. I'm going to make it really brief. Just thank everybody for coming here. Thank the New York Athletic Club for hosting it, USA Wrestling and Flow, and there's a ton more. But I just want to state this is just really special for us to be able to have 5,000 fans, and we're just really grateful for this opportunity to really market the sport of wrestling and support our kids. So let me now hand it over to our new chairman of the board, Ray Barczak.
Hello, everybody. I do appreciate you all coming. Just a few things. I'd like to start off first with thanking a few folks. NYAC, really want to thank you for hosting this event. We truly appreciate it. USA Wrestling, Flow Wrestling, Cliff Keen, PSAL, and all our partners that support Beat the Streets. There are many, and they will be at the gala event tomorrow and at the Hulu Theater. Gary kind of mentioned it, but I do want to say each year this event grows. And really appreciate the athletes for being here, because this is our 10th event, as you did here. And, this one I take a look at, it's really grown and it's morphed. Last year was one of our biggest events. It was 1,200 folks that showed up. And this year with the 5,000, it's just going to be a tremendous event. Really want to thank Mike Novogratz for giving us all this opportunity, starting Beat the Streets, and what we have here today. So really why we are here, right? The Beat the Street wrestlers, we're here to positively impact their lives through wrestling. And really when you take a look at our mission, right, it's about developing the full human and potential athletic ability through wrestling, right? That means we want our wrestlers to develop through wrestling and use it as a catalyst in life like you all have. We want these qualities such as grit, hard work, determination to drive this positive change in their work life, their professional careers, their school life, and you're all going to be a big part of that. So please remember that's why we're here. It's for the kids, right? So we're proud of what we have here. Again, I want to thank the supporters that we do have. Again, this specialness means a lot to me and to our kids. And really what we've done is we've taken the kids off the streets, and we've taken it even a step further, right? We provide school tools to almost level the playing field out there for our athletes. What we do is we provide Regents prep, SAT prep, and you can hear I'm turning left on St. Agnes over here. I was late, by the way. But we definitely take the playing field and we differentiate it, and what we do is we level it for our folks, and it's really great to see. So I'm just asking you all, thank you for being here. Appreciate the athletes for what you're doing for us and all the support that's here. It means a lot to us, but it means more for our kids. And I'll turn it back over to Gary. Thanks.
So with 13 matches with outstanding athletes in each weight class, we're not going to ask every athlete to speak today. We'd like to hear from a couple of our national coaches, and then we have athletes from one of our women's matches, and then one of our men's matches are going to say a word or two about the competition. When that's over, we're going to have a weigh-in. We're going to get everyone to get up on the scale, and we're going to get their fighting weight. Everyone's already weighed in and made weight, but this is what they're actually going to be fighting at tomorrow. So it's kind of a tradition, and our athletes will come up and they'll pose together however they want to do it, boxing, MMA style type thing. And when we're done with that, we'll have a kind of an open situation where the media can spend some time speaking with individual athletes. We're asking all the athletes to hang out for a while for some interviews when we're done with this program. So with no further ado, I'd like to introduce our national freestyle coach, Bill Zadek, who will give a little update about why this event's important, what it means to the American freestyle athletes, and just his thoughts about coming here in New York and having a Beat the Streets competition with a number of the top wrestlers in the world. Coach Zadek.
Thanks, Gary. Yeah, first of all, I would like to thank Brendan for all his hard work putting this together. He goes out of his mind for a couple of months every year to put this thing together, and it's a lot of work, so really appreciate that. The New York Athletic Club, of course, Mike Novogratz and his vision, and now Ray is the new chairman. Thank you for your work and effort. Beat the Streets, the mission is really simple, as Ray had stated, is to help kids through the sport of wrestling reach their full athletic and human potential, which is central to our mission at USA Wrestling, central to my mission as a national coach. And with my background in development, it's something that I'm really passionate about. So it's a really important endeavor. It's given me a life. I wouldn't be standing here at this podium without the opportunity that I've been given through the sport, in which Beat the Streets is trying to create. And with the vision of marquee matchups at iconic locations, this year, of course, in years past, we've wrestled largely international opponents, and this year we've kept a little bit of that flavor, but also looked internally, and we have some of our current stars wrestling some of our future stars. And so I think, the ticket sales speaks for itself. Hulu Theater, 5,000 people sold out at capacity. It's going to be a great event. It's going to be very exciting. I think you're going to see some excellent wrestling from our current Olympic champions and world champions to our current NCAA champions and All-Americans that are struggling and striving for that next step. So, again, I'm super excited to be here. I appreciate your support. Thanks again, and we'll look forward to a great event tomorrow night.
And one of the traditions here at Beat the Streets is to provide opportunity for all. And there's always been some really outstanding women's wrestling competitions that have been part of the Beat the Streets event. I'm going to invite our national coach, Terry Steiner, to talk a little bit about the women's program, the Beat the Streets competition, the athletes, and just, with us getting ready for our world qualification in the next few weeks, why coming to this event is important to us. So, Coach Steiner.
Thank you all for being here, and again, I'd like to thank the Beat the Streets organization and Mike Novogratz for what he's done in getting this going over the years, and also thank you to the New York Athletic Club for always hosting everyone and being a great host and putting everyone up. Beat the Streets is really what it's all about, is giving opportunity to young kids, and that's how all of us got started. And I think anytime as a national organization and our national teams and our elite athletes can be a part of something to give back to society and hopefully give those next generations of kids some spark and some interest in the sport, that's really what we're trying to do and what we should be doing, paying it forward all the time. So we 100% believe in what we're doing, being a part of this event. And not so many times is women's wrestling always included and always put in a spotlight situation. So it's always a great event for our athletes to be a part of. Everyone wants to be a part of it when they're asked, and we're excited to be here. We'd like to thank Wrestling Canada as well for being great friendly rivals, really. I mean, we've had a great relationship over the years, and a realization that we need to use each other to build each other up and our countries up, and if we do that and have that friendly rivalry, we can really help both countries evolve. And so, again, thank you for being a part of this and being accepting of the invitation to come down. So we're excited for a great event. It's always great to be in New York City and just brings so much more than just a wrestling match. So thank you all.
We'll now have a couple of athletes come up, talk about the event for themselves. We might open up to a question or two at this portion of it. Remember, you will have an opportunity to speak to everyone afterwards. We'll start. As Coach Steiner indicated, there's been a strong international flavor to this event over the years. And not only do we get a chance to celebrate American wrestling, but we get to welcome guests from all over the world. And we have that opportunity again in a few of our matches here. We'd like to introduce two of the women athletes, one from the United States and one from Canada, just to speak a little bit about the opportunity of wrestling here in New York City and being part of this program. We're 57 kilograms, a world bronze medalist, Commonwealth champion, Canadian world team member in 2017. I'd like Diana Weicker to come up and just talk a little bit about this opportunity and her match coming up with Becka Leathers.
Hi everyone. I just want to say how excited I am to be here. Being up in Canada, we're not very often on a big stage in wrestling, and so to be in a theater with 5,000 spectators watching is so exciting to me. Really excited to wrestle somebody new. I've never been able to compete against Becka before, so I'm excited for the challenge there. And also just to be able to be at an event that not only is raising awareness about women in sport and being one of the few women's matches in this, but also for the charity event, and hopefully this raises awareness for young girls coming into the sport as well.
Any questions? Thank you, Diana.
Thank you.
So this matchup's a battle of world bronze medalists, so we really got some quality people. And I'd like to introduce our 2017 world bronze medalist out of Oklahoma, training now in North Carolina, and our current national champion, Becka Leathers. And Becka, just talk a little bit about being part of this.
Hi guys. I'm really excited to be here. You know, I got the call driving to my vacation after the U.S. Open to come and wrestle at Beat the Streets this past week. And you know, they make it easy to say yes when you get the opportunity to be around so many great kids. I've worked with some Beat the Streets events in the past, and these kids are so loving and so thankful, and they're just like so inspiring to be around. So it was easy to say yes to this event, and besides that, it's a very cool event. As all you guys know, like, we're wrestling in New York City, Madison Square Garden. So I'm super thankful for the opportunity, and then also the light it's going to bring to women's wrestling. And always great to wrestle our Canadian friends. So Battle of the Bronzes, bring it on.
All right, thank you, Becka.
Thanks.
Now we're going to invite a couple of athletes who are going to be in the final match of the night. A couple of Olympic athletes. This should be a great battle, but I also, two of the most positive promoters of the sport of wrestling I know. Both of these men have made a huge difference in our sport, not only by the way they compete, but also by the way they represent themselves in wrestling. And they really make a difference in what we do, and it's going to be a great battle. I'd first like to introduce, out of Wisconsin, I don't know, you guys know all about Ben, I'm sure, but Olympic team member, multiple NCAA champ, current UFC fighter, world champion in MMA in a couple of different organizations. And Ben wrestled on that boat that first time when we brought a few wrestlers together and said, let's create a new thing for wrestling. So Ben, would just like you to talk a little bit about why you're here and what we're looking forward to tomorrow. Ben Askren.
Right, how's it going, everybody? It's pretty simple, man. I got a text message. I was coaching a wrestling tournament in Iowa. I got a text message that said, "Do you want to watch Jordan Burroughs?" I said, "Damn skippy, I do." And then they tried to say something crazy like, "You got to make 74 kilos." And well, I don't know all about that, but the answer is yes. And we got it worked out for the next couple of days. And man, when you get to wrestle someone on the caliber of that, and I make no bones about how good he is, and it's a must-take opportunity. I talk all the time to my kids that I coach about taking on challenges. Challenges doesn't mean you say yes when you think you can kick the butt. Challenges mean you say yes no matter what. And that's what I did. I said yes. I'm excited to compete. I love Beat the Streets. I love New York City. I love challenges. And I'm going to try to put some heat on Jordan tomorrow.
Any questions?
You got a question for me, young man back there? Yeah. Give me at least one good one.
Why don't you go back and coach your club after what I'm going to do to you?
Oh! That's an easy one. Listen, that's simple. That was a great question. Thank you. All my club has ever seen me do is win. I mean, I haven't lost. And so, honestly, I had a kid have a great disappointment one time, and he said, and I tried picking him up. I said, "Well, how do you don't know what I'm feeling." And it's like, because these kids, I opened the club in 2011. I haven't lost an MMA fight. I haven't competed in wrestling since 2010. Man, life isn't all about winning. Life's about sometimes you take an ass whooping, and that's fine. That's no big deal. You get in there and you fight them as hard as you can fight them. And if you don't come out on top, that's fine. That's no big deal. You step in there and you do it again. And then eventually you get really good at it. We know that, We know that. Some tricks up my sleeve.
Any other questions for Ben? Yes.
So, like, we have the Legend of Nebraska with, like...
Who, Marty Usman?
with the Legend of Missouri. Do you feel that kind of rivalry, old-time rivalry, kind of sparking up between the two of you?
Yeah, you know, Jordan told this story. I actually watched the full interview. Jordan told this story about he came on that Nebraska trip when we beat his team in 2007. He wasn't out of the red shirt yet. And I thought he was going to be, I was hoping he didn't remember this because he was going to be mad at me because he loves Mark Manning. And I like Mark Manning now too. You know, we had a rivalry, of course, like you're bringing up. And that doomie that Jordan's talking about when we gave the business to Nebraska, we gave the student section, I was the instigator, obviously. Gave the student section 300 Manning masks. And their role was to, every single time Mark stood up, was to say Wanning, in order to make him so mad he stopped standing up. So every time it was 300 Manning masks, but I don't think Jordan remembered that, thank God.
Anyone else?
With your switching over from the UFC to back to real wrestling, how was the transition for you?
Well, I mean, I wrestle, I'm in my club 3 days a week. I do private lessons. I'm up with Badger RTC a couple times a week. And so, I mean, I may not like wrestle full time. I'm around it all the time. I haven't competed in a freestyle match since Battle on the Boat or whatever that might have been my last one. I'm trying to think of exactly when it was. That might have been my last one. But I'm around it all the time. So I train with hell little people. I can work out. So it was not a huge switch.
Ben, thank you.
All right, thanks, guys.
Without further ado, Olympic champion, 4-time world champion, 2-time Olympian, everything else, Jordan Burroughs from Sicklerville, New Jersey, by the way. So we're back home.
Man, it's always good to be back here. This is my 9th year competing at the Beat the Streets event, and specifically, my reasoning behind being here is always about what we get to do in terms of fundraising for the youth in the inner city. And I've done things not only for Beat the Streets New York, but also Beat the Streets LA, Beat the Streets Philadelphia, Beat the Streets Baltimore, because there are a lot of individuals within these programs that look a lot like me, that come from these urban areas, that have an environment and a system that they grow up in which people don't thrive. They don't go to school for free. They don't go to Division I programs and get full scholarships and get to travel the world. So I'm really the living embodiment for a lot of youth that are brown in this entire country that get the opportunity to get out of the streets and really get out of the hoods and the environments that they're within and get to the next level of their life. And so it's pretty awesome when I can really be that representative for that culture. And I'm just excited to wrestle Ben. I'm a huge fan of Ben. Ben, I've been a fan of yours for a long period of time, he made the transition over to MMA as I was kind of arriving into my freestyle career, and so maybe he knew the writing was on the wall, right? This young stuff from Nebraska that's going to come through and make a run at it. But no, honestly, I think it's going to be an amazing matchup tomorrow. I'm excited about it. The banter on Twitter has been amazing. Let's keep it up, bro. Like, you got 48 hours until I actually beat you, and it doesn't mean anything. So, or maybe a little less. We got about 27 hours. You could, but luckily I'm not a mathematician, I'm a wrestler. So it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. So thank you guys for allowing me to be here. Thank you, Brendan, for the invitation. We talked a little bit about this last year. We scheduled it early, and it's going to be amazing. It's going to blow every Beat the Streets out of the water. I think it's going to be the best one yet. So congratulations thus far, and let's have a great event.
Any questions? Yes?
Jaden, what's up, bro?
Okay, so since then, wrestling you in the match here in New York.
I'm going to fight him next. We're going to go
Exactly. That's my
through
next question. Are you going to go and fight him in a fight?
No, you know what? I've had to deal with a lot of stands on Twitter. MMA fans are crazy, bro.
And they're not that smart.
They're crazy.
And low intelligence.
But and like with all due respect to MMA fans, just because you don't fight doesn't mean you're not tough, right? Like I think that they're like, oh well, you're talking crap to Ben. Why don't you step in the octagon? I'm like, listen, I chose to be a wrestler by profession and by trade, not just because I'm afraid to fight. You know what I mean? And so like, I appreciate MMA fans, and I think that thank you for bringing the non-traditional fan over to the wrestling arena and really getting that kind of collaborative effort, because people have to respect wrestlers because of all that we're doing in MMA. So, no, I'm not going to fight Ben. I'm not. I'm going to be absolutely honest with you. But I think tomorrow will be fun, and I'm taking this match seriously. I've been training hard. We got back from Argentina 2 weeks ago for a competition, and since then, I've really been grinding to prepare. And I feel good. Ben had to do a little bit of weight cutting. I woke up underweight this morning. He came in with a sauna suit on. So I'm feeling a lot better than Ben's feeling right now. So yeah, it's going to be a good weekend.
Another question? Well, we'll all be available after the weigh-in. Thank you, Jerry, very much. A little bit of housekeeping so the athletes and the media know what we're doing. We're going to call up athletes. I'm going to have Kenny Bigley helping me by weighing them in. We're going to get their actual weight in their clothes, what they're going to be weighing when they compete rather than what they made when they made weight. And then we're going to ask the athletes to stand here and pose for photos and video. MMA style, whatever you guys want to do is good for me. And we will go in the order of the weight matches that they will be doing. So let's get started. We do have two of our high school athletes. We're blessed to have two high school matches tomorrow. One will be women's wrestling, the other will be the men's side. And these are some of the best athletes from this region and from around the country. Today we have two of the boys that are going to be wrestling at 138. And it's really, being a Long Island guy, I know the rivalry between Long Island and New Jersey, so this is certainly going to be something we're going to showcase tomorrow when we start the competition. We'll start with Jersey. Hailing from New Jersey, Jojo Aragona. Jojo? Kenny will call out their weight, and then when you're done weighing in, stand right here to the left so we can get your opponent on the scale. He's from PA.
There you go.
How'd I get that
Say 152.
152 pounds, Jojo. Out of Long Island, New York, out of Musiello.
Way back on. $148.
148, gentlemen. Thank you. Our First bout will be 57 kilograms in men's freestyle. Hailing out of Dallas, Texas, training in Virginia. Fifth in the U23 World Championships. NCAA runner-up this year and two-time All-American. Four-time prep national champion, Mr. Jack Mueller.
Call it 139, 140.
Jack. His opponent from East Setauket, New York. He's a four-time New York State high school champion, two-time All-American for NCAA at Oklahoma State, Nick Piccinini.
$143.
Gentlemen. Thank you very much. Our next bout will be 62 kilograms in women's freestyle. Hailing from Canada, 2016 World Bronze medalist, two-time World University champion, Commonwealth Championships champion, Linda Moraes.
$143.
Her opponent hailing from Sacramento, California, three-time WCWA national champion, two-time University national champion, world bronze medalist, Mallory Velty.
$147.
147. Our next battle will be a New Jersey battle. And we'll start out of South Plainfield, New Jersey. Four-time undefeated New Jersey champion. Four-time All-American. First NCAA champion in Rutgers history. 10th in the World University Championships. And the reigning Pan American Senior Champion, Mr. Anthony Ashnault.
$162.
His opponent out of Willingboro, New Jersey. New Jersey State champ, four-time All-American for Nebraska, University World Silver medalist, World Bronze medalist, and World Silver medalist, Mr. James Green.
$165.
Thank you, gentlemen. Our next weight class, 97 kilogram men's freestyle. Hailing from Canada, 2015 junior world medalist, two-time Canadian U23 world team member, national team member, Nishan Randhawa.
$217.
Wow, big boy.
His opponent, out of Woodbine, Maryland, three-time prep school national champion, three-time NCAA champion, junior world champion, world silver medalist, two-time world champion, 2016 Olympic champion, Mr. Kyle Snyder.
$224.
Also big.
We're moving 125 kilograms. This athlete, he's out of Edmond, Oklahoma, two-time Oklahoma State high school champ. He was the NCAA runner-up this year for Oklahoma State, and he was fourth in the U.S. Open a few days ago, Mr. Derek White.
250.
His opponent, native New Yorker from Dwaynesburg, two-time state champ, two-time NCAA champ, four-time All-American, U.S. Open champ, two-time Pan Am champ, and two-time world bronze medalist, Mr. Nick Gwizdowski.
$266.
Got it?
Thanks, gentlemen. We next move up to 57 kilograms. We've met these athletes already. From Canada, world bronze medalist, Commonwealth Games champion, Diana Weicker.
$130.
Her opponent out of Choctaw, Oklahoma, college national champion, Pan Am champion, junior bronze medalist at the Worlds, new U.S. Open champion, and a world bronze medalist in 2017, Becka Leathers.
$135.
Our next bout, 61 kilograms. Out of Paramus, New Jersey, four-time New Jersey state champion, Midlands champion, NCAA runner-up last year, and this year Rutgers NCAA champion, Nick Suriano. His opponent, out of Clear Lake, Iowa, two-time Iowa state champ, junior college national champ, third in the NCAA tournament, U.S. Open champion, two-time Pan American gold medalist, and the 2018 world bronze medalist, Mr. Joe Colon.
$146.
Our next match is 86 kilogram in men's freestyle. Hails from the Burlington, Iowa area. He's a Midlands champion, Big 12 champion, and NCAA champion this year for the University of Northern Iowa, Mr. Drew Fawcett.
$200.
His opponent, four-time Ohio State champion from St. Paris, Ohio, two-time NCAA champ, two-time Dan Hodge Trophy champion winner, Ivan Urigan champion, two-time World Cup champ, and the 2018 world champion, Mr. David Taylor.
$202.
Our next bout is 92 kilograms in men's freestyle. Out of Orland Park, Illinois, he's an Illinois State High School champion, placed fourth this year at the NCAA Championships for Princeton, Mr. Patrick Buckley.
$208.
His opponent, he hails from Columbia, Missouri, four-time Missouri State champion, three-time NCAA champion from Missouri, U.S. Open champion, He was a world bronze medalist in 2017, an Olympic bronze medalist in 2016, and he is the reigning 2018 world champion, Mr. Jaden Cox.
Do I have to step on it? The shoes are heavy.
KJ's not here, it's fine.
213.
Our next match, one of our athletes weighed in remotely and was not able to join us for the press conference. So we're going to introduce our international guest and get his weight. And we'll just have to call Rob Cole to find out what the other weight was. They did an online weigh-in this morning. So, but I do want to introduce and weigh in our guest from India. He was the 2018 World Silver Medalist, two-time Asian champion, just won a few days ago the Asian Championships, 2018 Commonwealth champion, Bajrang Punia.
$152.
I don't think we need to introduce our main event, but I will call them up based on where they're from. Out of Heartland, Wisconsin, Mr. Ben Askren.
Trouble.
184.
How much was it?
184.
And with no further ado, from Sicklerville, New Jersey, Mr. Jordan Burroughs.
$178.
Want to see Ben disappear? That's great.
Just one last housekeeping point. We do have an interpreter if anyone would like to speak with Mr. Bajrang. Right now, media, you're welcome to walk up and talk to individual athletes for interviews. We'll see you tomorrow night at the Hula Theater.